We're going to talk a little bit about, I guess you could say, dealing with a grieving process, but having the right attitude. And I have to brag on this man. It's my dad, because he definitely has the right attitude about handling things. It's been more than 3 years now since Mom was moved into memory care.
Yes.
And after, I guess at the time it was 61 years of marriage, but now
Right.
64
4
years of marriage.
That's right. 64.
You're by yourself here,
Yeah.
and you go visit her sometimes 3 times a week. Sometimes
Yeah.
2, sometimes 4,
True.
depends on what's going on.
Right.
But usually it's 3 times a week.
Yes.
And the thing that I think that my sister and I and everyone in the family is so proud of you about is that you've had such a great attitude. Because quite truthfully, my mom has stage 6 Alzheimer's. So I just went to visit her today. She didn't recognize me. She couldn't believe that I was her son because I'm too old, because I'm older than her. But you're able to laugh about so much stuff that she talks about and that she does. How are you able to do that? How are you able to have that type of attitude?
Well, through pictures.
Yeah.
I'd always, to go see her, I always take all the pictures I have, which is probably 150 pictures. Sometimes we go through 60 or 50 or 60.
And they're printed pictures. You're not
Yeah.
on your phone.
Oh, no.
Big pictures. 'Cause
The
she doesn't
big
have the best
pictures.
of eyes.
That's right. And you can see a glimmer in her eyes when she goes through that, and she don't know who they are, but I always tell her who they are and what their age is and everything else. So that seems to help, and it is tough, but it just seems to brighten up her day when she can see the pictures when Mike and Diane were little, and is that our two? Do we have more? And I said, no more, just the two, just the two. So with pictures, it really, really helps.
I know it bothers a lot of people who have relatives with Alzheimer's, especially when it's a parent with any type of dementia, but especially with Alzheimer's, when they don't recognize you anymore. And you actually call me when you'll go to visit her, and she'll ask if you are her dad.
No, yes.
And you're able to smile about it and laugh about it.
Yeah.
Again, how do you do that, Dad?
Well, I just know where she's coming from, and I just prepared for whatever thing she throws out at me.
Yeah.
You know, I try to go back to her with a positive note, and so far it seems to be working. So we have a great visits, you know. So, and to me, she always reminds me that said we used to travel a lot. And I said, that's right, we did. And I start naming every place that we used to go, and she said, wow, we've been around. So anyway, that helps more than anything.
It always amazes me when every once in a while something comes up where she's able to remember something, or at least just a little bit. I call it finding the cheese, as opposed to hitting the holes in the cheese. It's finding the cheese. And it kind of gives you personally, and it gives me, but when she does that, it gives you, not hope, but it just gives you a little bit of happiness, because you realize that the old mom is back, at least for a second.
That's right. That's true. Yes. Well, this morning we called her brother in Amarillo, and at the close, she jumped in there and said goodbye. And sometimes I have to force her to say that, but she did it on her own this morning. She said goodbye. And anyway, so you just never know. You never know from each visit.
I know that you're part of a support group here in the town where you live, in the Dallas area. That's helped you a lot, hasn't it?
Oh gosh, yes, it has. Yes, it is. It makes me really appreciate where Mom is, because they're taking care of her and everything. And some of the people in the support group are having taken care of their loved ones
And it wears
in
them
their
down.
house.
It wears them down, doesn't it?
24 hours a day, and they're just giving out.
Some people, unfortunately, don't have the luxury or the chance to be able to use memory care or something like that. But I want to talk more about the support group, because when I first signed you up for it 3 years ago, I was afraid you would go to one, because I think it was on Zoom when it first started.
Yeah,
and you would do it once, and you'd say, son, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this ever again. But you have been a regular visitor to that support group,
I
member
love
of
to
it
go there.
ever since.
Yeah, I think I go there because I appreciate my position more than anything else, and what my wife is going through.
Yeah.
That really helps me. So I'm just so tickled to death to go to that, to you know, because everybody in that support group has problems.
Yeah.
And it's a plus.
I know that you've been very vocal to some of them. Say you don't need to visit so much. You know,
Oh yeah, most of them come in there and they want to visit every day. I said you don't need to do that.
You thought about that early on.
Oh yes, I did. I wanted to go see her every day, and no. Doctor said you can't do that. So you got to, you know, cut it back. And when she first went into memory care, I went to see her twice a week. And then I've increased that to where it's 3 times a week now. And most of the time, the third thing, I either take her out to lunch or we go get an ice cream cone or something like that. But it makes a big difference if you're there every day. It's I think it's wearing on both sides.
Which is what we were worried about with you, wearing you down.
Yeah.
But has there been a chance for you to help tell other people how you're able to keep that good attitude? Because I think it's hard for a lot of people to laugh or to smile when someone with Alzheimer's thinks that you're someone else. Like me today, when Mom didn't recognize me.
Right.
It sometimes it can be hard to laugh, but you have to have that type of attitude.
That's right.
But
You do. Oh yeah.
How do you tell other people that?
Oh, it's hard to tell somebody. I mean, you just got to keep a positive attitude and don't let what your spouse says to you or who a personal friend says to you to get you down. You've got to be positive about everything. And that's what comes out with the pictures. The pictures are the best thing that you could ever do.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to when we first got married and all the way through, different pictures. And with the kids and everything else, and some of our trips like to Alaska and to Lake Tahoe, and she remembers that because she points to the picture of Lake Tahoe. She said, "Oh, the mountains." She said, "That's up in the mountains and out west." And I said, "That's right, it sure is Lake Tahoe."
Just find some cheese sometimes.
That's right. Yeah. So.
But one more time, I want to go back to your attitude, because is it partly because of your personality and y'all's relationship for 64 years of marriage that lets you accept these things a little bit better? Because let's go back. The first 2 weeks of Mom in memory care were terrible.
Oh.
And even the first couple of months were not easy on you because you missed her so much.
I did.
But you've been able to have such a great attitude.
Yeah.
For the last almost 3 years.
That's right.
And I think it's a great. You could show a lot of people how to do that. But is it part of it because of your personality and y'all's relationship over the last 64 years?
I guess it could be. It could be. I don't know how it's worked, but maybe some chemistry there between the two of us. It's worked, and although she would like to, you know, come home with me, she mentioned that, and I said, we can't, right now we can't do it.
Yeah.
You got to stay in memory care, and I've got to stay with physical care, so there's the two haven't met yet, so we're still working on it, so I keep telling her we're working on trying to get together, so, and anyway, so that's been working, so it's great.
I think you're a great role model for a lot of the people in Parenting Aging Parents, because it's not easy going through what you've been going through, and you've set a great standard for everyone. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you and Diane for helping me, my God.
Well, we're just trying to help.
Couldn't have made it without them. Couldn't have made it. I don't know. Lee?
Hey, if you have any other topic you'd like us to discuss, please let us know. Parenting Aging Parents.